I kind of understand the purpose, but I would assume by the call you guys have some kind of position on it. So I'll throw that back in. I see Richard shaking his head. Yes, yes, yes. So,
and I'm going to pass it off to Richard too, because I know he's the one who's been pushing this information to us. So Richard.
Yeah. So Representative Richard Wilson, my title is Government Affairs Director for Kentucky Realtors. I work very closely with our lobbyist in Frankfort, who's Amy Wycliffe, who you may know. So with House Bill 151, and Brian and I were just talking about this before y'all got on. So House Bill 151 and Senate Bill 243 are mirror images of each other. I'll just kind of start off by saying we don't expect either one to move this session. We have been in constant communication with the County Clerks Association, as well as some other interested parties, League of Cities, home builders, auto dealers, pretty much any association that has some kind of interaction with county clerks on a day-to-day basis. All of our groups kind of formed a coalition during the interim last summer and spent quite a bit of time coming up with language for legislation that would require county clerks to stay open at least 40 hours a week if they did not have an online portal, meaning, they did not have an online database where a realtor could go and search for documents. Some county clerks here in Kentucky have an online portal. Some do not. It's mainly the smaller counties who do not have an online portal right now. So if they did not have an online portal, they would stay open 40 hours a week. If they do have an online portal, they would stay open 30 hours a week. Now you might be asking yourself, how would something like that be funded for the county clerks, specifically the smaller county clerks? It's a good question, and that's the reason why the bill won't move this session, is because our coalition and the County Clerks Association still need some work. Still need to do some work on that aspect of the bill, and so we'll all be getting together during the interim after this session and hope to have something for you to really discuss and really get voted on in the 2022 legislative session. During when COVID first hit back in March of 2020, it kind of opened everyone's eyes as to the need for an online system or online portal for documents that all of the associations I just listed could go and search. Because if you remember, a lot of our county clerks and a lot of our county government buildings shut down for a long period of time, and it delayed closings, that delayed sales of cars for auto dealers, stuff like that. And so an online portal, a need for an online portal was kind of really brought to our attention, and it's needed.
Yeah.
Sorry for the long-winded answer there.
That's okay. Yeah, I kind of agree with the online portal for some. I don't know how we afford it and how we get to that point. That's questions to be answered in the future. But I think I 100% agree with you that I think COVID has really brought to light how far behind our state was, as far as our access for all entities across the state to be able to, effectively do business in the 21st century. We'll say, it really did. So.
Absolutely.
One thing I wanted to ask, in Henderson, they upload all of their documents to Title Searcher. Is that what you consider an online portal, or is it something different than that? I know that's a fee service where I pay for access to it, so I don't have to walk my lazy self back down to the courthouse or search the records. And they go back to 76, I believe. And if you're a nerd like me, it is fun to look up some of those old records and plats and different recordings. You can pull wills and so on and so forth. So that was something that we're talking about. And if there was a way, maybe, I don't know who benefits from Title Searcher, or if there was a way to find some type of entity where each county would share in profits with an online host. You know, say if I agree to pay for X number of dollars a month for this membership, who gets the money? You know, would it all go to the online portal, or could it be something that each county receives some benefits to? Just, again, I'm sure somebody else smarter than me's thought of that already, but just my thought there.
Gotcha. So yeah, that probably would qualify as an online portal. I wish every county had something like that similar, but sadly some do not. You know, just think about all of the documents that would need to be put in an online portal and how much time that would take. That's one of the things we're talking with the County Clerks Association with now is, you know, that how much time it really would take to put all of that information on a online portal or online system, and how much cost that would take. So, but yeah, Amber.
All right. Well, again, thank you for that, Representative Dixon. I know, like you said, it's still fresh and it's not been seen by a lot of people. This is mainly just to kind of let you know that the state of Kentucky Realtors and the local associations, we're behind this bill, and we're looking forward to seeing how it progresses going into next session. So, moving on to the next one, we have House Bill 207, which is being sponsored by Representative Jim Gooch. That would prohibit a local government entity from taking any legislative or executive action that has the purpose or effect of impairing a consumer's ability to use a utility service of their choosing. And I know locally here in Henderson, with the Big River HMPL debacle going on right now, a lot of the issues are coming to light. So I don't know, have you been able to review this, or do you have any thoughts?
I have that bill, good, bad, or indifferent. That bill's already moved to the House. It was passed out of the House. It's headed over to the Senate. I voted yes for it, and a couple of reasons. One, after talking to Representative Gooch about what the bill actually is doing, I was comfortable with it. I thought it was the right choice. And then secondly, Representative Meredith had an amendment to it that kind of changed some language for the Kentucky League of Cities. And so those were the two concerns, I guess, that really came up about the bill from the Kentucky League of Cities was some of the language, and that amendment changed that. So from my position, I was okay, and I thought it was, you know, I think the intent, in my opinion, the intent from Representative Gooch and others on this bill was just to keep the options open to our consumer base to use whatever means they feel necessary for their houses, or you know, they basically someone can't come in and say you got to use all solar here in Henderson County. That was really the intent, I think, of the bill is just to keep customers and consumer options open. You know, whether or not your position on that is the same as what I just described, but that's where I ultimately ended up on this issue. So,
and that is exactly why our we call it our legislative quick response team, but that is exactly why they voted in support of it. Is the description you just gave.
Amber, anything you'd like to add?
I agree, and I'm glad that you agree. I just don't feel that any entities are, for lack of a better term, monopoly on one set of energy consumption, especially in our rural areas when you know, they have two different options possibly. They're going to have to go with a cheaper option for affordability. And I think it'll keep some of these costs down if there are options, as we've seen with other areas. I agree too.
All right. And then, Representative Dixon, we have Senate Bill 11 that is being supported by Senator John Schnickel. This one goes into the criminal mischief statute application to tenants, providing landlords a better way to obtain redress when a tenant intentionally damages or destroys rental property. And they're kind of basing this off of Class D felony, Class A misdemeanor, or Class B misdemeanor, depending on the dollar amount of damage. Have you seen this bill, or have you guys had
no, as of right now, I have not seen this bill. I've heard a little bit of talk about it, but I'll be happy to entertain where your position is on the bill.
So I will say that the bill did, this same exact bill did pass both chambers last year. It was vetoed by the governor shortly after sine die. And so Senator Schickles is bringing it back again. I mean, a ton of our members are also landlords. And so this is just added protection for them.
It, you know, probably before the pandemic, it was a sensitive, probably not as sensitive of a topic as it is right now. So, you know, I'm excited to see what debate comes about it as it comes across the aisle. But no, I do recall the bill. I have read it, and I do understand what the purpose is. So.
Good deal.
And then I had one more question. It wasn't one of the talking points, but I know we have done a big push, especially across the state, to expand broadband internet access everywhere. And I know right now, especially across the state of Kentucky, with low inventory and you know, no housing, a lot of realtors I've talked to in our area find it hard to sell property out in our county areas because of lack of internet access. So I know we've pushed it. We've sent letters to our representatives and our senators. And I just want to know, I mean, is it still having any traction, or what are you seeing movement wise, anything with this broadband initiative to try to get the whole entire state connected to better internet service?
Yeah, not directly. I will tell you, I did co-sponsor a bill that was brought by Representative Pratt. It's 349. I do believe it's 349. Don't quote me on the number, but it's 340 something. But it was a bill that Ryan Quarles was strongly behind. It actually moved broadband over to the Department of Agriculture, where through conversations and through committee, you can kind of tell in the hearing there's a real concern about how broadband is being deployed at the time right now, that it's not being acted upon quick enough, that we're not, you know, moving forward, because the pandemic brought a lot to light in that issue. And I agree with that stance too. I think that we could do better. We need to do better. I think it's something that we've got to do better in the future on, and we're just not moving fast enough. Of course, I've learned, being from construction and getting into government now, things don't move as fast as as you would hope they would. But no, it's to me, it's a top tier issue. It was something I campaigned on. It's something that I've advocated up here for. And as far as movement in here, I know that bill's been, you know, received back in committee on committees in the House, awaiting further movement. And that's what I know about that bill. And that's probably the strongest bill, in my opinion, right now, that kind of seeks action on the broadband issue. That's kind of why I got behind it. I thought it was making moves in the right direction. But to answer your question, long, but end it with, at this point, it would be up to, you know, leadership and how things move and what issues come up on what other developments happen from here on out on broadband. But I'm with you 100%. I think the faster we move towards, you know, getting our rural population, especially in Henderson County. I mean, we're not rural, but we are rural, and we've got a lot of issues, you know, as far as broadband deployment and needing that to get to our constituents in those areas. So I'm with you 100%.
I know that there's more issues than just, you know, trying to sell houses out in the county, but as a realtor association, I'm looking out for my realtors.
Well, I know, and I don't blame you at all, because it's not just about selling houses. I mean, it is in a sense that, you know, I mean, a lot of folks are working from home right now, and I mean, who's going to buy that new house out in the county that they can't get broadband to when their work's got them working from home 30, 20 hours a week or something? You know, I mean, it does affect you. So I understand.
And in the same respect, we, if you think about within the available ground to build on, to say do a new subdivision or things like that, as far as Henderson goes, it really is going to have to be, even if it's just barely, but it's really going to have to be in the county. And unless the city annexes more property, which they've just recently done, you know, I can't convince some big developer to come in and develop an area, a subdivision, a new one for the new housing that we desperately need, if I can't give internet access. Because, you know, odds are that those home buyers are going to be millennials, or, you know, at least a large percentage of them, and they're going to need that technology. And then you can take the whole school stance with us, you know, with remote learning too, that it is sad that some of those kids have to do their schoolwork out of their cars, sitting in church parking lots to get internet access. I mean, you know, hard times.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I'll be doing my best up here to advocate for, you know, for broadband to be expedited as fast as possible. It, you know, it's a daily conversation. I can tell you that, you know, so.
And coming from a family full of bricklayers and working summers, I know exactly how you're feeling on the construction side. Hurry up and wait. It's
That's
always
right.
hard.
That's right.
Richard, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. Representative, you know, that kind of the one thing that always talking to legislators on, you know, Zoom calls and stuff like this is I always like to mention our opposition for sales tax on services, specifically, of course, real estate services. I know it's probably not going to come up this session, but tax reform in 2022 is a real possibility. And so when the discussion about sales tax on services comes up, please think of your friends at the Realtors, and just know that we are opposed to sales tax on services for our services, for real estate services.
Duly noted.
Is there anything you can think of, instead of us putting the questions on you, that you want to see us as a Realtor Association, because we are so many, support that, you know, comes in through our industry? Is there something you think we're missing out on?
No, I probably don't. At this time, I don't have a comment. I mean, being the new freshman, I'm kind of learning the curves and learning the ropes. But you know, I mean, I do appreciate you guys reaching out to me. I mean, that makes a difference. You know, when I've tried to take every call that I can with all the associations and everyone that's reached out to me just to gather all that information up, and hang tight. I'm sure I'll have
That's what we're
something
here
in the
for.
future. That's right. So, but at this time, no. I appreciate y'all reaching out to me very much.
We appreciate you taking the time. I know it's going to be a busy week for you. And you also might have noticed I have been recording this Zoom call. I just wanted to get your permission, if I could, to share this with our membership, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
It's totally fine, but I just kind of wanted to see if that would be an option for us, because I know that they're interested to hear what's going on up at the Hill right now. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. That'd be fine. I appreciate it.
well, I appreciate it. And again, Representative Dixon, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And we look forward to actually being able to meet you in person, hopefully next year. So
Absolutely. Things are getting brighter. So hopefully that will happen soon. So
all right.
you
Well, thank
you all very
guys
much.
take care.
Bye.
Bye.